Watkins that will stand 2 inches taller. She will have a 1-inch reach advantage. To get our night officially underway at the Phoenix tournament, here is Joe Martinez.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, live on Access TV from Memorial Hall here in Kansas City, Kansas, a very good evening and welcome to Invicta FC, the Phoenix tournament. Tonight, atomweights go to battle for the atomweight championship of the Phoenix series. Here we go with our first quarterfinal tonight. 1 5-minute round. This again scheduled in the atomweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in officially 105 3/4 pounds. Her professional record stands even with 3 victories and 3 defeats. Fighting out of Brighton, Michigan, here is Tabitha Batgirl Watkins. And across the cage, her opponent fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 1 inch tall. She weighed in officially 105 1/2 pounds and in 13 professional fights holds a record of 10 victories with 3 defeats. Fighting out of Niterói, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, here is Jessica Correa del Boni. And your referee in charge of the action is Nick Behrens.
Nick Behrens getting this quarterfinal assignment. It is Tabitha Watkins, the training partner of the atomweight champ, Alicia Zappatella, taking on a familiar foe, the woman who just fought her, Jessica Del Boni. TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Megan Anderson, round number 1 underway. Watkins in the black and gold, Del Boni in the white with red. Looking at Del Boni, she said she wanted to utilize her jiu-jitsu, knowing that this was a 1-round fight, and she's definitely getting that underway here early. Our clock powered by Jujube. Fight premature aging with Jujube's high-grade Jujubes, the ultimate unknown superfood. Use promo code INVICTAFC for 10% off. Inside the closed guard, here is Del Boni of Watkins. Looking at the way that this tournament is structured, 1 5-minute round, you know, the judges have the same criteria to score upon, but I feel like the judges look at damage a little bit more in these 1-round fights because, you know, the smallest of things can actually progress you to the next round.
Exactly, TJ, and for Watkins right here, she is on the cage. She is putting herself in this position. I know she's looking for a submission here, but she also, you know, she's in a position where Del Boni can put her up against the cage and put on a lot of damage.
She's off to the side there, Julie, looking for this arm bar. Is she in business at all?
You know, she's got a nice frame right there, TJ, but Del Boni's doing a really nice job of locking her own arms together and preventing Tabitha from actually executing and really extending the arm. And so you can see the way Del Boni is kind of framing on her. I think that it would be a good idea for Tabitha to abandon this right now or switch to possibly finding a sweep from here.
Well, we look at that, you know, the 1-round sort of format here. You can almost hurt yourself by being too aggressive with the offense if you can't get the submission. It's a lot of time.
Yeah, and you waste a lot of energy. You know, you've only got 5 minutes to work, and, you know, Del Boni is doing a really good job here of putting Watkins' weight over her head so she's not able to extend those hips. And, you know, she's eating up time here. This is time, even though Watkins has a submission, Del Boni is eating up control time. She's defending really well, but she also has to be very patient here because one wrong move, and that sets up that perfect armbar for Watson.
And looking at Del Boni, she's throwing the knees to the body here, which, you know, again, it's interesting to try to figure out how the judges are seeing it. Julie, is this offense here from Watkins or is it offense from Del Boni?
Well, you know, I would kind of score this as an offensive attempt from Watkins and actual offense from Del Boni at this point. Now, you can see Watkins is switching up her grip with her legs. She's trying to extend out. And Del Boni's now, the frame is working against her until she can extract her hand. I like the way she just wrapped her legs around Watkins' head right there. That gives her a chance to kind of base out and find an explosive recovery of her arm.
Trying to make the adjustment here. Del Boni having to be very careful here with how she wants to move. Watkins, a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Del Boni, a brown belt.
And I like how Watkins switched her position up. I like the way that she's digging real deep for that arm. Del Boni's extending her head out, and you can see she's pulled that hand almost free.
But 90 seconds left here in round number 1.
Del Boni's trying to use that leg there to, you know, kind of almost use Watkins's leverage against her, forcing her face away, trying to let go of that arm. But Watkins doing a really good job switching to the other side of the hip there.
Del Boni almost out of danger here. Watkins really not letting go of that arm. Quick little hammer fist there for the Brazilian.
The elbow was free there, TJ, for a second. Oops, still free.
And looking at Del Boni here, she's almost clear of the position. She'll have a minute to really try to leave no doubt in the judges' minds here.
And she's actually got a nice armbar set up herself. If she can extract fully from that armbar and slide that right knee through.
I think she just really has to be careful of the triangle right here. Watkins seems to be trying to switch her hips around to go for that armbar, but Del Boni needs to get to work here. I feel like Watkins has been, you know, somewhat attached to that armbar, that she's kind of been in a more dominant position looking for a submission. So Del Boni needs to go all out here in these last 20 seconds.
I agree.
Del Boni went 5 hard rounds with Alicia Zappitella, and the judges were not on her side that night. Now in the final moments here of this first round of this Phoenix tournament, Del Boni trying to leave no doubt, punching her ticket to the semifinals. Jessica Del Boni going to work. We will see how the judges look at that one. I mean, a very intriguing 5 minutes where I think both athletes made a case to try to win that round. It was Del Boni being defensive while also still being offensive with the knees to the body, and you know, she finished the round in a pretty good position.
She did, you know, she actually landed strikes while she was in a defensive position, while her arm was wrapped up. So, you know, it really depends. She also got the takedown in this round, this one round. And so, you know, judges may score that in her advantage as well. But I would say, you know, Watkins landed some pretty good kicks. And she was on the attack, fishing for, or I shouldn't say fishing for, she had that arm for a while.
Let's take a look at this fight recap brought to you by Work From Home. WFHLife.com, the only brand exclusively focused on work from home. Soft, comfortable, and fashionable. Up to 60% off at WFHLife.com. Jessica Del Boni fighting off that armbar, but again, Megan, knees to the body. Who's on offense here?
It is really hard to tell, and really that's up to the judges. But I think Del Boni did a really good job of staying patient. She got out of the submission, and she started to do a lot of damage towards the later part of the round where she needed to. Whereas Watkins, you have to think that submission is an offensive position. How are they going to score that?
The judges have rendered their decision. Who's going to the semifinals? We will find out. Here's Joe Martinez.
Well, fight fans, after one round, we go to the judges, and all three see it 10-9 for your winner, advancing to the semifinals of the atomweight tournament. From Brazil, Jessica Del Boni.
1 down, 2 to go for Jessica Del Boni. A decision victory in round number. Zebra, the world's leading training facility outfitter. Katie Perez, 1 year the elder of Lindsey Van Zandt. Both women stand 5 feet 2 inches tall and were on point at weigh-ins. A half-inch reach advantage, if you'd like to call it that, for Katie Perez. For our official introductions, here's Joe Martinez.
Well, fight fans, we are set to go with the next quarterfinal tonight. This again in the atomweight tournament. Introducing you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 2 inches tall. Weighing in officially 105 1/3 pounds. Her professional record stands at 2 victories with 1 defeat. She fights out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Here is Katie Máquina Asesina Perez. And across the cage, her opponent fighting out of the red corner. Also standing 5 feet 2 inches tall, she weighed officially 105 3/4 pounds. In 11 professional fights, her record stands at 7 victories with 4 defeats. Fighting out of Scottsdale, Arizona, here is Lindsey Damsel Van Zandt. And your referee in charge of the action is Marcio La Selva.
Our tournament rolls on. Marcio La Silva getting this assignment. It is the newcomer, Katie Perez, taking on the vet, Lindsey Van Zandt. TJ DeSantis, Megan Anderson, Julie Kedzie here inside Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas, for the Phoenix tournament. Our clock powered by Juju Me.
Van Zandt was true to her word. That was a nice kick earlier.
Definitely no filling out period for Van Zandt.
Trying to take the back now. Settles for an open half guard. Trying to get her guard back is Perez, half butterfly. Posturing up now and making space, allowing Perez to go back to her feet. Do you like the decision there by Van Zandt? Because, I mean, I think that makes a statement to the judges. Look, I took her down and allowed her to get back up.
Yeah, it does, but, I think she maybe wants to test out her striking. I think having a little bit of success in those early moments, I think maybe she feels a little bit more confident that she can stand, but then also taking her down and being a little bit dominant on the ground. Wow, some big punches there by Van Zandt.
Doubled up with the jab there, nicely done, getting obvious reaction out of Perez.
It almost just feels like Van Zandt is playing with Perez a little bit. She's kind of hitting her big shots, moving in and out, and just letting her up and doing things when Van Zandt is ready for her to do that.
You see a lot of confidence here from Van Zandt, and she definitely wants to try to finish this one, because if she's able to secure a victory, then she's in a good spot with a stoppage to actually sort of determine her own future later.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, we've seen good striking from Van Zandt in the past and some creative striking, but tonight she is on fire, TJ. She's really, it's like she's got her sights all set up down the barrel of those punches. I'm really excited.
Oh, what
of course, she's
beautiful transition.
Yep, on the back once again is Van Zandt. Very defensive is Perez here. Now really tying up armbar.
Oh, beautiful.
Van Zandt very close to trying to secure a submission here. Belly down now with it, but Perez able to make some adjustments, but that arm is definitely extended now.
Wow, Perez is tough.
Far from done is Katie Perez. Looking at Van Zandt with the way that she's tied up here, is she's still threatening with this triangle, Julie?
I don't think she's threatening enough to be able to finish it there because of the extension of Perez's legs, but I think she could if she did a slight adjustment of her hips. I think she's getting kind of distracted, having herself extended out like that, and you can see Perez attacking her arm, trying for her own armbar setup here.
I mean, that is an interesting attack here. That's the simultaneous submission attempts here, but Van Zandt able to get free now, trying to work that triangle, but also mixing in some strikes here.
Kudos for her for recognizing that she can lock that right back on. You can see Perez is still fighting strong here.
And again, trying to get her leg. Oh, there's a tap. Wow.
Wow.
Lindsey Van Zandt secures a spot in the semifinals via submission, and with that stoppage, she's really set herself apart from the rest of the field thus far. We are going to have a athlete pick who they're going to fight next round, no matter what. Someone needs to do it now quicker than Lindsey Van Zandt, but the tone has been set.
Oh, and what an absolutely incredible performance by Van Zandt. While Perez showed a lot of toughness, a lot of heart, defending a lot of those positions, Van Zandt just seemed like she was on another level. You could tell there was a bit of an experience difference between the two, and it really showcased tonight.
You mentioned showcase. The veteran wanted to showcase her new skills that she picked up with the camp move, and showcase them she did.
She certainly did. I mean, I just have to say, those punches, they were razor sharp. That kick in the beginning, it was beautiful. And that, the transitions with the triangle and the arm bar and then staying on top of it, that was incredible.
Very game was Katie Perez, but tonight belongs to Lindsey Van Zandt. Joe Martinez will make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, the armbar submission comes official time, 3 minutes, 10 seconds of round number 1, and moving on to the semifinals, Lindsey Damsel Van Zandt.
The damsel advances to the semifinals. Lindsey Van Zandt getting it done. Let's take a look at this fight recap powered by Work From Home. Visit them at WFHLife.com, the only brand exclusively focused on work from home, soft, comfortable, and fashionable, up to 60% off at WFHLife.com. Julie, walk us through some of this action.
Well, one of the things that we saw in the opening stanza of this fight was just Van Zandt using her reach and using footwork to get exactly where she needed to be. She had it herself really targeted on the face, and she got it. And once she hit the ground, it was transition to transition. Now, Perez did a nice job of creating a frame and actually going on the attack while being attacked on the ground. She made things awkward and hard for LVZ for just a second, but LVZ stayed strong. I love calling her that. She stayed strong on that attack and got the tap with that armbar, extending out.